In this video, we'll be talking about CSS selectors. So let me create a simple, let me use a simple element here, hash1. Let me say hello. I will create up to, let me see what I will do here. I will create about, let me say 3 elements. Let me use paragraph. Let me also say, should I use hello? Let's say hello world. Then let me use div. Yeah, div. I think I should use div and say hello people. Okay, I think I'm done. So this will help me to illustrate what I want to illustrate better. Okay, so here's our elements. We have about 3 elements here, which is head1, head1, paragraph, and the div. Okay, so inside our CSS, we have the 4 commonly used selectors. There might be other, but this 4 is mostly used. You mostly find this 4. So one of them is um, element selector. So element selector is using the name of the element. For instance, say I want to style this element, which is hello, this header. Now just do hash1. Okay, I will do hash1, then open the block declaration. Then I'll start declaring with the property. Let me say color property, and then no, not schema, say color property, and then give it a value of, let me say green. Okay, here's the color now. Okay, now another element here is paragraph, so use p. Okay, so inside the block declaration, I will declare color property, and then I'll give it a value of let me say red, so it will be more visible. Red. Remember to put your semicolon. Okay, then we have another one here, which is div. So let me say div, then open our block declaration. Then inside it we'll now give it a property. Let's say color. Let me use a color that will stand out from this ones. Let me say yellow. Don't know whether it will be visible. It's visible, but can't see it. Let me give it gold color. I think gold will be a bit dimmed. It's good, but I have to include the font size before you can see it. Okay, so this is how uh, element selector works. The name of the element is used to select. The name of the element is used in the CSS to style its own elements, to style its own contents. For instance, now this is the hash1. This is the hash1 element, and here is the content, which is hello. So we use hash1 to style its content, which is hello. Likewise, paragraph, which is presented with p, and div, which is div, same thing. Okay, so moving on to the next one. The next one, we'll be using class. We just use class. So class selector is a bit different from this one. So let's create this our elements. Then inside our HTML, open the first tag, which is header one. Type in class, and give it the name of let me use the word demo. Okay, this is the class name I'm giving to this hash1 tag, this hash1 element. Okay, then let me open the paragraph and give it class name This class name most of the time it should be unique, unless you want to use the same property in all of them. You can just put demo here and demo here, but if you want to give them different things, you use different name. So demo, I will use demo 1. I'm going to write demo 1. Okay, then the final div. Let me space this thing out so it will look more. Let me bring this thing down. Okay, then let me space this thing out. Then this one, let me space it out. Okay, so it will be a bit more clearer. Then inside this div, let me give it a class of let me say demo2. Okay, this demo2. Okay, to make it to make more sense, let me make this one 3, demo2, and this one demo1. I think it makes a bit sense now. So 1, 2, 3, demo1, demo2, demo3. Okay, so inside our CSS, to make use of the class, to style this, to use the CSS selector to style this particular element, what we have to do now is say dot name of the class dot demo demo1. Then now open your block declaration, then start declaring. Give it color property. Let me say color. Let me give it red again. Okay, don't forget to put semicolon. Okay, as you can see, this is how to use a CSS selector. So let me duplicate it, and okay, yeah, let me duplicate it. So we're using class, let me duplicate it and just change the values, and then add different different value to the color. Let me say shift at drop down arrow. Oh, this, don't think this will shift down arrow. No, this is what I want. Okay, shift down. Okay, so I have now duplicated it into 3 places. Okay, so inside this place now, we'll make this one demo2. Okay, then inside this one, I'll make this one demo3. You can see all of them is inheriting the same property and the same value. You can see all of them is now red, so I can alter this one by giving it blue color. Okay, you can see that the color has changed. Then this one, I can give this one let me say green. Say this one, I can give this one green. You can see that the color has changed. Also, I can add font size to it, and that is, let me say font size, so it will be a bit bigger. Let's say font size, let me use say 3 em. Okay, so it will be a little bit bigger. Likewise, same thing here. Font size, let me use 3 em for all of them. Then this one as well, let me say font size, I'll give it 3 em. Okay, so it's a bit bigger now. So this is how to use CSS class selector. So the next one we're talking about is CSS which is ID selector. We're using ID selector. So come back to this our HTML. Instead of using class, clean it and replace it with ID. Then this place, replace it with ID. Then this place, replace it with ID. Okay, so to select it from the CSS, instead of this dot, we'll replace this dot with hash. Yeah, think sharp or hash. It is sharp. Shift sharp. You can see this. Replace it with this sharp or hash. Many people call it different name, but I call it hash. The other one, hash or okay, or sharp. Use sharp symbol, whatever. So just replace it with this symbol. hash or sharp symbol. Just know the symbol. You are seeing it here now. So this one goes with ID. So this is how to use ID selector. So this is how to use it. By first of all, you have to produce ID equals to the name of the ID inside the inside double quotes. Then when you come to CSS, use this symbol here, and then in the back of the symbol you put the name of your ID. Then open the block declaration and then start declaring your properties and values inside, and it will have effect on the elements. Okay, so that's it for ID selector. Then the next one I want to talk about is grouping selector. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, I still need this demo, but let me create the CSS. Okay, inside CSS, the grouping selector, we can do something like, let me say, we have hash1 p and div. Okay, let's say hash1 is, say you put comma, then then we have what next we have here? We have p. Okay, for paragraph, put comma, then the next thing we have is div, which is div. Okay, then we now open the block declaration. Then we now declare our properties. So let's say same color again, give you a value of red, see what happens. You can see all of them we inherit the property and the value. So you can do it this way. H1 P, you just put this one for element, just grouping selector. Okay, then I can actually use, instead of let me see whether if I remove one now. Okay, if I remove one, let me move this to have effect only on 2. Okay, now what if I want to do, let me see whether the ID will work. Definitely supposed to work. Let me say demo 1 uh-huh, demo 1. Why is it not working? I don't think it will work. I don't think you can use ID. I don't think you can group ID, but let's try it and see. Oh, it's demo 1 supposed to work. Or let me say demo 2. Let me put this symbol. Okay, it's working. It's supposed to work. Then demo 2. Yeah, then comma. Then demo 3. It's supposed to work. Then let me put this sharp. Then demo 3. So all of them we inherited. So the thing you listed there, anything you list in this group now, we inherit the property and the same value. Likewise, if I change this thing to class, definitely it will still be the same thing. Let me replace it with class. Remove this ID and replace it with class. Then this one class, say class. Okay, and so inside this place, let me remove this sharp symbol and replace it with dots. You can see is inheriting it. Okay, so you can see it's still the same. So this is for grouping selector. So at this point, this is the four major CSS selector that I want to talk about. There may be many other, but these are the one that is very, very common, very, very common. You always see it, you always make use of it. Okay, so that is it for CSS selector. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next one.